The goal is low self-esteem. Not your goal, not my goal, the enemy's goal, the evil spirit's goal. And this can be anyone in your life that's trying to gain control over you, that's trying to get money out of you, that's trying to get power over you. I can't tell you who the evil spirits are in your life, but maybe after going through a little checklist like this, you might be able to identify who's really not meant to be in your life. Through low self-esteem, there's three main pathways that I've noticed through experience and through learnings, and it starts with doing less. And the reason that you do less is for two main reasons. One, you don't want to be judged by others. And two, you don't believe in yourself. So even though you might do things from time to time, you're doing them half-assed. You can do them way better, but because you don't have the confidence pushing you or helping you feel calm in these moments, you're not executing things the way you're supposed to be executing them. And the thing with not being judged is you feel like, oh, I can't be called a loser, I can't be called this, so I'll be okay. I don't need to learn new skills. I don't need to meet new people. I don't need new hobbies. I don't need this or that. You're wrong, and I'll show you why. So now you're in an environment where you can't be judged. You feel a little bit better about yourself because people aren't calling you this. People aren't looking at you like that. You feel like maybe I am worthy, blah, blah, blah. The thing about not being able to be judged is you can't win. Because to win, you need to be deemed a winner by the judge, by the referee. You need to be deemed most qualified to get the job. You need to be deemed qualified to get the scholarship. You need to be deemed most qualified to make the sports team, to make the music, it's not team, I don't know what it's called, to join the band, okay? When you can't win, you don't play. You don't play if you can't win. Not losing is nice until you realize you cannot win. So your life doesn't level up at all. You don't build new skills, you don't meet new people, you don't do new things, you don't learn new things. You stay the same forever. And when you walk in a cycle and nothing ever changes, it seems like walking as a whole is pointless. And when life becomes pointless, what are you living for? Okay, we'll come back to that, all right? The next... Okay, so we kind of got it. It was working a few minutes ago, whatever. The next route that you go is through seeking approval. You don't feel good on your own. You need your teacher to make you feel smart. You need your coach to make you feel like you're a good player. You need the choreographer to make you feel like your violin strings are stringing. You need a girl to make you feel handsome. You need a man to make you feel pretty. You need your parents to make you feel worthy. Because you don't feel these things within yourself, okay? So you start seeking approval. But where that leads to is picking up, okay, if I do this, people think I'm handsome. If I do this, people think I'm worthy. If I say this, do this, my teacher will think I'm smart. Yada, yada, yada. You start adding a bunch of things to your character just for the approval. This is called the ego, because the ego is really just a consumption of a bunch of factors built into one to hide the real you from the world. Your ego gets what you think is supposed to come from the outside, but it's really supposed to come from the inside, from who you are. You are supposed to feel these ways on your own. You're supposed to be happy on your own, feel worthy on your own, but because you can't and you don't know how, you develop an ego to make the shortcut, the temporary problem solver. The problem with the ego is the more time you spend as the ego, the more time you forget who you are. You fall out of love with what you used to love. You fall out of love with old friends. Anybody that tries to stand in the way of the ego simply just gets booted. Even the man in the mirror. This leads to losing yourself. You don't have the same friends anymore. You don't look the same anymore. You don't talk the same anymore. You don't do the same things. Everything is gone. And it's the performance all the time. The thing is, when you come home from work, when you come home from school, when you turn that video game off and it's just you will feel depressed. Now, why do you feel depressed? Because you don't know who the man in the mirror is anymore. You don't know who you are, what you like, what you do. You don't know anything other than you're tired, the performance, it was too much, you're tired, you're miserable, you're depressed. Okay, and the final pathway that we have here now is finding vices. And vices for everybody can be completely different. It could be video games, well, which is, honestly, it's one of the biggest ones because you feel the reward right away. In real life, you work, you have to wait a week or two for the paycheck. You build a business, you have to wait months to a year. You work out, you have to wait months to see results. Video games don't work that way. You get on, you play the game, you get your reward. You play the game, you level up, and you improve so much faster at video games. But that's why it's a game. It's a game. But the young mind, the hurt mind, It finds a quick relief, a quick solution, it hooks. Drinking can be one, smoking can be one, any other substance can be one. Social media, you post, you get a lot of likes, you might feel worthy, okay? A lot of people mistake attention for connection. I talked about that in another video. So you find your vice. You get online, you're playing your game, you play for 3 hours a night, you feel good for 3 hours a night. You take your headset off, you brush your teeth, you come to bed, you feel bad again. Why? Because you didn't solve the problem, you merely just had a band-aid over it for 3 hours. Your brain was stimulating and you were feeling good. That's called temporary relief. And when you have temporary relief, the second that you get back in your bed after playing video games, you want to get back on, or you want to go on TikTok, or you want to talk to someone that's going to make you feel worthy, make you feel good. Boom, 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 boom. Your vices lead to overconsumption. And through overconsumption, not only does it destroy you mentally, physically, and financially, it leads you to the dark, dark, dark road of addiction. Okay? So now, life's pointless. You're depressed, and you have an addiction. Do you know where that leads? Do you know why? The evil spirits, the enemies want you to think life's pointless, want you to be depressed, want you to have addictions. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because it creates a form of dependency. You are now dependent on your addictions. You are now dependent on whatever solves your depression. That could be another person, it could be a therapist, it can be the drugs that they give you for the addiction, right? There's a market around addiction. There's a market around depression. And the thing with life is pointless is someone once told me, when you stand for nothing, life's pointless, right? What are you standing for? You don't have any beliefs. You don't have any values. They're all pointless. You fall for anything. For $20, you'll do anything because life's pointless. Put that money in my pocket. I can use it one day maybe to help one of these two. You stand for nothing. You have no beliefs, no values. You'll fall for any trick. Because why not? If it's going to make me feel good for 5 minutes, why not? It's all pointless. Anyway, you are now dependent, and the evil spirits get control over you. They get your time, your feelings, your money, and your energy. And you might ask, how do they do this? How do they even make you feel low self-esteem in the first place? It's not like anybody can just walk up to you and tell you, hey, you look like shit. Nobody does that. How do they do it? Okay, let me show you. Low self-esteem on you and keeping you in that phase of low self-esteem with 4 main categories nowadays, starting with social media. Social media just pushes out so many agendas onto you. Gender roles, beauty standards, societal norms. You have to be making this much money by this age. You have to be doing this. You don't have a bachelor's degree? You don't have your license? You don't do this? You don't gamble? Why don't you gamble? There's gambling and sexualized advertisements everywhere. There's sexualized hidden sexualized content inside of kids movies, kids games, kids apps. TikTok is supposed to be an app for children. You can get banned on TikTok for talking about conspiracies, but you will not get banned for twerking. You will not get banned for doing other sexualized activities. You've seen people on Twitch. People on Twitch play with sex toys and stuff like that, and they don't get banned. But people on Twitch that talk about conspiracies, it's the same. It's crazy. Gambling and sex ads are everywhere. Beauty standards, they want you to be this. You have to look like this. They have young girls and some even boys buying makeup like crazy, skincare products like crazy. You don't even read what's in the labels anymore. If Kylie Jenner has it, I want it. I don't care about the price. Fighting with your parents because you need it, yada, yada, yada. Because that's what the beauty standards are now. All the girls in all the movies look the same. All the girls in all the Instagram posts look the same. Social media is pushing. You're not enough. You need this. You gotta be doing this. You gotta be doing that. You got boom, boom, boom. Killing young minds, leading to comparison. Everything is a comparison. Everyone you look at right away, you're comparing every single quality to yourself. Someone says somebody else's name right away, the first thing going on in your head is you're comparing this to that. You look at pictures of this, you want that, you want this, you want everything. You need to love this. Okay? Comparison is the thief of joy. There's a reason that saying has been going around for thousands of years. It's not because it's false, it's real. The second you start comparing, you're stealing what's in here. You're putting this down, okay? You are you, they are they, and that is beautiful in its own way, both of them, okay? Modern diagnoses, and what I mean by that is like they just throw around diagnoses for nothing now. Kids don't want to talk to another kid, they're anxious, they're awkward, they might be on the spectrum. But what if that kid just noticed something that he doesn't like in particular about this environment or that space or that child? He doesn't want to socialize that. He's not awkward. He's not on the spectrum. He's just keeping to himself. That's completely okay. It's a situational thing. Kids have a little bit of a messed up sleeping schedule, or they seem down at times, they're depressed. No, you don't know. You can't just throw away around words like that. Another one that's thrown around like crazy is OCD. When I was in elementary school growing up, I used to be straightening my folders and people would be like, oh, you have OCD. That is not OCD. But the thing is, if you keep telling young and corrupted minds, you're depressed, you have OCD, you're anxious. I've seen even on social media, I'll just be scrolling sometimes. Oh, did you know there's a disease for people that don't like loud chewing? No, nobody likes loud chewing. Does everybody have that disease? No, that is not a disease. They just do that. Do you know why they do that? Because they make you feel like you're deficient. And it's very, very easy to have influence over a young mind, over a corrupted mind, to make them feel like they're deficient, like they need to depend on a person or a substance or anything else. Is very, very easy. The younger they are, the more corrupted that they are. Another way is the system. We live in a system now where both parents need to be working. The kids are going to be getting raised in the schools and even after school program with a ratio of 1 to 30 for teachers and maybe 4 to 30 for supervisors. There's not enough attention and love to go around for all these kids. They're just going to grow up feeling neglected. Guess what? They get home from school 4 o'clock or after school program 5, 6 o'clock. Parents are tired. Parents are busy, have to take care of dinner, have to shower, clean themselves, whatever. Of course, they're going to give as much time to the kids as possible. But the kids overall nowadays are just not getting enough attention. Instead, they're getting the screen time. They're getting, the parent just gives them an iPad so the parent can relax at the same time. You're going to see what it's doing to the kids in the next 10 to 15 years. Another thing with the ratio of 1 to 30 for teacher students or 4 to 30 for the supervisors is in order for something like that to run smoothly, obedience needs to be instilled in these kids at a young age. And what I mean by obedience is shut up and listen. And if you don't, you have ADHD. No. When I say show your work, I mean you need to show it the way that I taught you, because I'm not going to learn a new method just because you're extra creative and you found another method that works. No, you have to do my method. I'm going to kill the creativity in my students and kill the confidence in them, because even though their way is right, it's not the way that I taught them. So no, that doesn't work. What? No, you're killing the future of this generation. But just because of the system, and the reason the system is formed like this is because it's the most efficient in terms of making money for the whatever, right? And back to talking about gambling and sexualized ads everywhere. I just wrote here as a category what they push, because it's what they're really pushing onto you. I mean, beauty standards I could have included in this, but we already understand with the makeup how that works. But in terms of corn is the end goal for all these sexualized ads, right? Because lust as a whole, you could categorize it as lust, and you letting lust control you, meaning like sleeping with the wrong people and blah blah blah. But in terms of corn, it teaches you that you're a background character in your own life. One of the best moments of your day, and the reason I say best moments of your day is because the euphoric feeling you get from releasing that energy or ejaculating or orgasming, whatever you want to call it, comes from you sitting on your bed watching another screen. You're a background character, but your brain isn't going to remember what you were doing. It's only going to remember, your brain is only going to remember how you felt in that moment. It's not going to remember any of the other context. Okay, it doesn't understand any other context, but it understands how you felt when you were doing that. So you're teaching yourself that you're a background character in your own life, and gambling always has you chasing. Even when you win, you notice how you keep playing? You want more. You're never enough. When you're a gambler, you, or whatever your situation is never enough. It always has you chasing. Do you know what corn and gambling both do to you? They both download a sense and a strong sense of shame into you slowly and silently. You don't know what's going on until you're in public and you keep your head down and you can't do eye contact. And you don't want to tell, what'd you do this weekend? I lost $2,000. But you don't want to tell them you lost $2,000. You don't want to tell them you went to the casino. You will never in your life meet someone, what'd you do last weekend? Oh, jerked off. No, they're going to lie. They don't know that shame is in them until the question comes. All of these things download and instill low self-esteem into you. Now you're easily controllable. You're always dependable because you're going to people please no matter what, because it makes you feel better temporarily, and then you got to do it again. you're gonna become an addict, you're gonna be depressed, and your life will seem pointless after a certain amount of time. Go look at my other videos and see how you can beat low self-esteem and get these evil spirits out of your life. Hopefully this video wasn't too long for you guys. Thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you in the next one.